This episode of M2M is brought to you by Home Alone, a reality show created by famous YouTuber ligerblubber. Streaming now.
What's up, listeners? Welcome to M2M Coverage. Today we have a special episode for you. I mean, all of our episodes are special, but this is an extra special episode. We are joined by Home Alone creator Gavin Mangham. Hey,
Hi.
Gavin, what's up?
What's up? Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, and Home Alone, let me just say, get this show off of YouTube and get it on Netflix, man, because the quality of this show is amazing. I am genuinely intrigued every second of watching it, and I love to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate it because it took a lot of work.
Now, viewers, you may be wondering what this show has to do with sports. That's a good question. I'm just gonna ignore that for now and let the rest of this interview answer that question. But let's get on with this interview, Gavin. One of the coolest things I think about Home Alone is that the characters are wearing the same clothes every episode. And that's a pretty underrated thing. But you and I, we took AP Lit. We know what appearance means when we're talking about characters. You
Right.
know, I see Olivia with her bandana and I think of that as a symbol of her power. I see Amir with his soccer jersey. I don't know what that means, but it means something about his character. So can you give us a little bit of insight into how Home Alone was shot? And I'm guessing it was all at once, but can you also tell us about how much planning all of that took?
Okay. So about the outfits, really quickly, I didn't plan what outfits they would wear. They just wore whatever they wanted to, and it somehow worked out that Team Apex was the color blue, and 4 of the 5 people wore blue shirts, and Team Solus was the color red, and 3 of them wore red, which is crazy. Um, but how it was shot, yes, it was shot in 1 week. It was shot over 4 days, and that doesn't seem like a long time to film because in the episodes, a character like Nick or Ryan will say, "Oh, I think I'm starting to lose it after being here for so long," and they've only been there a day. So it's kind of silly. But we do film for 6 to 7 hours a day, which is a lot longer than it sounds like. And a lot of that time, they're just sitting inside talking to each other. Not everything gets put into the show, but it's enough time to bond and want to stay in the game. So I do think the emotions they feel in the show are real for the most part, and it's serious.
6 to 7 hours a day. That is insane.
It is a lot of time.
And I'm guessing you mentioned earlier that this is the best part of this was that everyone was in quarantine at the time, so that everyone was free and nobody had a busy schedule.
Right. You asked about how long it took to plan this. I've been planning this throughout the entire year, and I'd always planned over the summer that I would do it. Right at the start of 2020, this last semester of college, whenever I was in a class and a seminar was going on, I would be doodling in my notebook ideas about challenges and stuff like that. So I was super excited to put it all together over the summer, and then a pandemic hit, and I was panicking because I couldn't make my creation, but it ended up working out because everybody was quarantined and we had just enough time to come and film, like you said, for a whole week. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Joe.
like Suraj said, the show is phenomenal. At some points, I think it's staged because there's so many twists in every single episode. And I want to move on to something else that you plan, the games. So, how exactly do you come up with these games, and how do you set these games up?
So a lot of the games are inspiration from the show that this is based off of, Survivor, but also Survivor has a way bigger budget than Home Alone. So I had to figure out how to make all those challenges into a backyard setting, which was challenging, but it was fun. And while the teams, Solus and Apex, would be in their rooms talking, I'm behind the scenes running back and forth. I only have 3 people on my crew. 2 of them are camera people, so they can't help me because they're filming the teams. I'm setting up the challenges all by myself, sweating, running over to deliver message to Team Apex, running back to get confessionals from Team Solus. So I hate to toot my own horn, but it is a lot of just me sweating.
So you mentioned that, you have a way smaller budget, so a staff of, your sister and her friends and yourself. So how do you even maintain control over the contestants? We see like Alex Trebek with Jeopardy and Steve Harvey with Family Feud. They have good control over the entire show. How do you maintain that?
Well, it's pretty simple. Money. These are 10 people. They're all like good friends with me, and I knew I needed friends because they would be the only ones that'd be willing to do such an outrageous idea for a show. But also, since they were my friends, I was worried they would not take it seriously and treat it like fun little, and not actually treat it like a real show. But on that first day, when I told them the prize was $250, which none of them knew about, I think something flipped in their head and they started taking it seriously like a real game. They did not expect that at all. I think that gave them an actual goal to work towards and reasons to backstab and all of that.
In other words, they're there for the bag.
They are there for the bag.
Yeah, and I should have put this disclaimer at the beginning, but you definitely shouldn't watch this episode of M2M without watching Home Alone first.
Right.
Definitely check it out on YouTube. Gavin, thanks for joining us. We're going to have a debate later on with a special guest. And as you can see in Gavin's background, the characters of Home Alone are all there. So it's a great show. Please check it out. M2M is excited to collaborate with Home Alone. We'll see you guys soon.